What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Going Deeper edition. I'm Nick, and I'm wearing Uggs.
Yeah,
it's a good look,
but like
like
really
it.
short ones.
I'm into it.
Like
this
the
is
capris of Uggs.
Wisconsin dad is up at the lake with his
it.
kids
Yeah.
drinking coffee.
Yeah, like he woke up for the 7 a.m.
Yeah.
soccer game.
Yeah, I'm stylish. I look like either like a dad or a struggling artist.
or both. Don't limit yourself.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
They're very comfortable.
Love it.
Not a sponsor either. I just bought
Just
them.
I was gonna
Shout
say,
out
can
to
we
Uggs.
get some? Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind
Well,
of
then
makes
one of my
sense.
agents, he's like, hey, I could have got you these for free. I was like, fuck.
Fuck. Well, I feel like because the 2000s is coming back. And like that, the Uggs were a big part of that for me.
Oh, Uggs are hot. Yeah.
I want to pair Uggs with a Juicy Couture sweatsuit and just walk around town.
Oh my God.
That's the vision.
Anyways, yeah, I'm on the Ugg train.
Love
I
it.
think it's my first day.
All aboard.
Love
my
it.
first day at school.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went on a date recently, and he tried to sit on the same side of the booth as me.
Mm-hmm.
And I pride myself on
What
this.
date is this?
That was like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Also, shout out for all the daters out there.
We're hanging out with this guy? This is...
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And also for all the daters out there, like dating, I think Allie has been very
Amanda's
generous.
like really.
No, I'm excited for you because I feel like you've been very generous about like sharing how like dating can be like kind of a slog with online dating. And like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, like regardless of how this happens,
Okay.
like regardless of how this transpires, this is like you've been having a really positive experience. He's been treating you well. You've had some fun dates.
I don't know. It sounds like she hates him. He sat on the same side of the booth.
Well, no, see, I was going to say younger me would have been like, oh, sure, and sat there awkwardly. And I said, no. I was like, absolutely not.
Why? Why did he want to, and why didn't you? Because weirdly enough, like now that I went to our favorite breakfast spot, I just sat next to her on the same side, and I was like, because it was like we both wanted like
The booth
the
side.
booth side.
Nobody wants a chair.
And it was good people watching. Yeah, I wanted to sit back and relax. And, you know, we've been together obviously for so long. There was certainly a level of comfort. But
Do you think it's just
why
a
did he
PDA
want to?
thing?
Did he want to cuddle or did he want to people watch?
No, I think it's much more. He likes like a hand on a leg situation constantly.
Hot.
Yeah. He's more of a physical touch person than I am. But here we are.
And you just said no.
Yeah.
Good for you.
He was like, can I join you? And I said, no, absolutely not. I was like, sit over there.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I get like. I don't think it's that weird.
No, I refuse. That's like, no.
You don't like how it looks, or
Yeah. Yeah.
Aesthetically.
Well, because sometimes when you try to talk to each other, you're like, our noses are almost touching.
Well, that's the thing. And
You
I was
know?
like, if we were in a U-shaped booth, I'll meet you in the middle. But if it's a two-sider, what do you use the other side
That's
for?
also, I think if you're going on either a very promising first date, a second date you're really looking forward to, go to a U-shaped booth because that was where like the first time my boyfriend and I were like hanging out one-on-one, we did. And it was nice because like we stayed out and we were talking for like 3 or 4 hours. And we just like slowly scooched closer, but in a way that was like subtle and very mutual. U-shaped booth.
You gotta seek out those U-shaped booths.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Oh,
I mean, a first or second date, you two clearly have rapport.
Yeah. I was shocked that he was willing for me to just be like, no.
But maybe weigh in the comments. Let us know how you feel about this. Obviously, it's personal choice, so no one's saying one is right or wrong. But like, what do you prefer? And would you say no?
Would you say no?
I was proud of myself for saying no.
Yeah.
Hold the line.
You just gotta look out if you have different dominant hands. Because my girlfriend and I, like, I'm right-handed, she's left-handed. So we got to think about which side. Otherwise, we just, like, hit each other the whole time.
Oh, I'm shocked you're not a lefty, Derek. I feel like you have big lefty
You have
energy.
big lefty energy.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Are you a lefty, Nick?
I am.
For sure. Yeah.
The sleeper. The guy who's
sleeper
down
lefty.
Uggs.
Yeah. This
Wow.
all makes
All right,
sense.
well, what do we got before we get to Rachel?
Oh boy. Okay, so I feel like goes without saying Scandoval. Before we get into it, quick temp check. Like scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in this story still? 10 being like when the news broke. Oh my God, this is
10.
juicy.
10.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
10?
haven't lost any interest.
I agree. I feel like my stamina is strong in a way it's not usually for this kind of
Well,
thing.
when you have stories like Raquel claiming to be autistic now,
I
So,
push back on that.
Let's
Let's get into
you
it.
Get
push
into
back
that.
on her self-diagnosis, or
No,
on
let's get in. Let's lay the groundwork.
So what Nick is referring to when he says this is that another girly in the pageant community, Brianna, made a post featuring her in pageant wear. And the caption is, after a few months of privately processing my autism diagnosis, I decided to come out about it because the little girl in the last slide deserved better. Obviously, the last slide is of her as a child. I finally reached the acceptance phase of my late diagnosis and am filled with more hope and peace than ever before. So if you see me acting different, it's because I am. And then there's a little unicorn emoji. And then Raquel commented, I can relate. 3 heart emojis with the little sparkles. And then sending you love, Brianna. So you have opinions. You want to...
Well, Nick is saying that she's autistic.
Yeah.
She could be relating to other parts of this sentiment, i.e. the pageant community, like, made me into someone I'm not, or I had to adhere to certain things.
Yeah, I guess it's all possible.
You know what I mean?
Bad timing on Rachel's part. Here's Raquel going through this. She's in the middle of this shitstorm story. She is at the center of this story. She is, finally the main character. Congratulations, Rachel, of this story. And here's this other person. I don't know who they are. It sounds like they were diagnosed with autism and they decided to have their own post and send a nice message. And then Raquel, of all people, I don't think she deliberately tried to. The point is, she probably didn't think. And then writes a cryptic comment certainly suggesting that she could be. We don't really know. But certainly, on this other person's comment, decided to almost steal the spotlight, so to speak. She made someone else's post about her. It's
a good point, because it's like, you got to know that when you've been lying that low, anything you do on social media is going to be news. She is also, to be fair, we are talking about this girl's post. So in a fucked up way, she did kind of raise awareness. But
there you go.
I think an interesting part is that, I read the caption because the post itself has like many different slides and has a lot more about this girl's story. And one of the things that Brianna mentions is she's like, I hope to lock arms with other people who meet the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistic Manual, which is like the kind of like the doctor book that like tells you, kind of gives like official medical criteria. And I think in that she's kind of speaking to like, I feel like there was a big narrative during the pandemic, especially of like, TikTok told me I have ADHD, or like TikTok told me XY, like, kind of people doing all of this self-learning. And then as a result, selecting labels for themselves that they felt really fit. And in one hand, I think was empowering and exciting. But I think for other people, felt like it was kind of diluting this, the fact that this is like, there's specific criteria to meet.
Yeah. Who did we have on long ago? The doctor who was on the show Love on the Spectrum from Netflix, who talked to us a lot about autism. I'd be really curious about what she thinks, being a part of that community and other communities who might feel like people have wrongly diagnosed themselves or labeled themselves and possibly taken away or diluted, for the people who do have these disabilities. I mean, who knows? But yes, we definitely live in a time where people are diagnosing themselves and attaching themselves to things via the internet.
Well, Jax is also attaching himself to Scandoval as a whole because
that's shocking.
I know, it's like he wants attention. Also,
what?
It was kind of because I started at season 1 and it was kind of jarring seeing him in the interview with like a mustache and like just like 10 years older than in the show, and you're like, oh my god, fuck boys grow up. They do.
I mean, they grow facial hair.
Like, yeah, physically grow up. Emotionally, I don't know.
I mean, Jax is married, but he has a history of cheating.
And I do feel like that's kind of at the center of Scandoval, is like this question of at what point do you get to like knock other people's behavior that you've committed in the past because you've quote grown? Like at what point do you get to say
we
no?
saw that on the girls' trip between
say?
Lala and Raquel.
So what Jax said, I thought the quote that was most interesting, kind of that made the most headlines, was he was talking about Tom Sandoval and said he never had control of Ariana. She's a very strong, independent woman, and I feel like he couldn't control her, and he can control Raquel very easily. She's very easily manipulated, and you can control her like just by looking at her. And then he goes on to say she's very codependent. She's the definition of codependency.
Well, I mean, Jax is certainly entitled to that opinion, and it might be accurate. I guess what you're saying, just because Jax has a history of being a piece of shit and cheating, that he doesn't really get to speak on this topic at all?
Well, there's two arguments, because there's that side, and then there's that he can speak on it in a way that nobody else can, because he's come out the other side. He can truly empathize with like where you're at in the moment where you're making those kinds of choices, but then say like, I am allowed to speak on this because I've done the work. And so I think that's kind of, I don't know, this idea of like doing the work is a big...
Allowed, not allowed. I mean, he's allowed to speak on this because he's a former castmate of Vanderpump Rules, and he knows these people as well as anyone on some level. You know, I guess it all depends on how you come across, right? If he's just like, I've never cheated, you know, I've never come close to doing any of these things that the Toms of the world and Jax Taylor have done. So when I speak about them, I'm pretty critical of their behavior. If Jack's like, he's just a piece of shit and fuck him and I would never do that, like, yeah, it sounds hypocritical. If Jax is more of, I have this opinion about Ariana and Raquel because, quite frankly, like back in the day when I was doing this type of shit, like, you know, I realize now that I was more drawn to people that, you know, whether I was doing it on purpose or not, that it was more, you know, I could control or manipulate. That didn't challenge me. And I felt, you know, yada, yada, yada. And I think he's entitled to speak on that. And he might offer a very interesting perspective. Again, like if Jax has really changed, if he has grown up,
Who's to say?
Who's to say? I don't think we're in a position to know that right now. But yeah, he could talk about like how he has or what finally changed. You know, and what would he recommend for someone like Tom who's going through what he's going through right now?
The other thing from the interview that I thought was interesting was he mentioned that, and I don't know when he was checking in with Ariana, I don't know when this check-in was, but he said, I guess Ariana said all the guys, I'm the only one that's checked in with her. Me out of all people. She was like, Jax Taylor's the only guy who checked in, you know, who checked up on me. To be fair, like we don't know when this check-in was, and it would make, I feel like for Schwartz especially, I could see why he would maybe be like, I might not be the first person she wants to hear from right now. But also, do we believe this?
Yeah, I don't believe what do you mean that Jax is the only person to reach out?
The only guy who checked in.
Was that Jax? Who's saying it?
Jax is saying that when he reached out to Ariana, she said you're the only guy who's reached out.
I doubt he's gonna lie about that.
But also, what if he reached out like 30 minutes after it broke?
Yeah.
And then at that point, like we don't know the timeline.
Yeah.
I love a good timeline.
Someone could have reached out the next day. Where's Brock in all of this?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Where I'm like 0% chance Sheena didn't like be like, Brock, write a fucking message.
I don't think she means like Brock. I mean, hell, I text Ariana. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think within this group of friends I'm not that close with Ariana, you know, like
you're not one of the boys.
I'm not in her circle.
So she's really adding James and Schwartz in this statement.
My guess is, yeah. People who probably should have reached out.
I'm so excited to rewatch older seasons of Vanderpump because they're starting to pop up on my TikTok. And like some of these scenes, and I know a lot of it's just edited and changed, but there is a scene where Raquel asks James if he thinks that she's dumb, and they edit it, whether or not it happened this way, for him to pause for like 30 seconds
yeah.
before he goes,
it's like, oh, babe, no,
of course not.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh my God.
I don't know, but the mid-season trailer looks good. I haven't seen this week's episode yet. We'll probably talk a little bit about it on Viall Files Plus.
Viall Plus for sure. Yeah, it's the rage. Like
also, Sandoval going,
what do you want me to do? And Ariana's like,
you want anything?
Die.
For you to die.
For you to die.
I love her.
Awesome.
She's amazing.
Information is power, so make sure your information isn't getting leaked out everywhere to anyone who wants to find it. And that's where Aura comes in.
Do you ever get those haunting notifications that's like your password has appeared in a data leak?
Yes. Yeah, or like your email password is available on the dark web.
Totally. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's really scary for me because it's like there's so many areas where I default to my parents or like I default to other people in my life who I trust who know this stuff. But because the internet is happening so quickly, like sometimes I don't know where to turn to for real expertise on cybersecurity.
With Aura, you can rest easy knowing that someone is looking out for you. The app scans the dark web to look for your email addresses, passwords, social security numbers, and other sensitive information. If anything is found, you'll receive an alert in real time. Aura offers a suite of tools to protect you and your loved ones, including real-time alerts on suspicious credit activity, computer virus protection, parental controls, a VPN, and a password manager. It's a comprehensive online safety solution that provides almost every tool you'll need all in one place.
And the best part is that if you are a victim of identity theft, God forbid the worst happens, their experienced white glove fraud team is a resolution team that will help you navigate all the credit bureaus, help you initiate credit freezes or locks, and work with you around the clock to resolve it.
You never want to be, buying your house or making some sort of big life purchase and then find out you have some sort of credit history problem that you didn't even know of because your information wasn't protected. So protect it with Aura. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day trial plus a check of your data to see if your personal information has been leaked online. All for free when you visit aura.com/VIALL. That is aura.com/VIALL to sign up for a 14-day free trial and start protecting you and your loved ones. That's aura.com/VIALL. Certain terms apply. Be sure to check the site for details. Lumi. Hey, you know what? Your pits aren't the only place that stink.
Yeah, that's sweats.
Sweats.
Come on. We sweat all over our whole bodies. Why do we only have deodorant for our armpits? I was going out to St. Patrick's Day. I was like, this is going to be a sweaty affair for all. It was nice because I put a little bit of deodorant on my butt cheeks.
And she was good to go. She was good all St. Patrick's Day. The wipes were an excellent discovery of mine.
Maybe it's just like a long day event. Make sure you have the proper deodorant in all the right places.
This was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And I am so careful about any of the products I put anywhere near my hoo-ha. And so it feels really good knowing that this was formulated by a professional who understands that it needs to be fragrance free. It needs to be it needs to be skin safe. It needs to be aluminum free.
Aluminum free, baking soda free, and paraben free. All very key, especially when it comes to the deodorant department, because so many of us, like myself, are allergic to that aluminum that's found in so many deodorants. It's pH balanced for safe use below the belt. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor up to 72 hours. Choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or toasted coconut.
Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping.
As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code VIALL at LumiDeodorant.com. That's LUME deodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit LumiDeodorant.com and use code VIALL. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code VIALL at LumiDeodorant.com.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of anger in the trailer. Another person who is kind of in the hot seat for displays of anger, Nick Lachey, our beloved Perfect Match.
Yeah,
host.
Perfect Match and Love Is Blind host.
Love Is Blind with
you may know him from Perfect Match as everyone going,
I feel
Nick
like
Lachey.
he's getting screwed.
So for people who are not aware, he had an altercation with a photographer, I think it was March of 2022, and he was not charged with misdemeanor assault and battery, because instead he's participating in LADA's pre-filing diversion program, which has been established in 2017. And basically it's a condition where you go to anger management classes, attend AA meetings, and successful completion of this pre-filing program will result in no criminal charges. So it's basically being if you really fucked up, you can be I'm so sorry, I fucked up, let me do the work. And then they'll be okay, no slap on your permanent record.
Is it really the work? I mean, I'm curious, how many times he has to show up for an AA meeting? Is he... And I hope I'm not speaking ignorantly or out of turn, but if you're not an alcoholic or you're not an addict of any kind, what's the purpose of going to AA other than maybe to support a friend? And how many times does he have to go? Does he have to stay in it? Does he get a sponsor? Does he go up and speak, "Hi, I'm Nick Lachey and I'm an alcoholic"? What does that look like? Maybe Nick Lachey is an alcoholic. I don't know. Or maybe he got drunk one night. This... Why is going to AA part of this process?
I think because in the video, the photographer who he was very physically aggressive towards said, like, even says in the video, like, I can smell alcohol in your breath. Have you been drinking?
I don't doubt that he was drinking, but like, what does AA have to do with that? Isn't Alcoholic Anonymous for like addicts?
Yeah, I guess the implication would be that like you are not in control of your relationship with alcohol, or you're
Because you got drunk one night?
I think he's kind of benefiting from that. Not getting a criminal charge and just being told like
and I get that. Like if I'm in Nick Lachey's shoes, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take that, right? This whatever anger management, like even what is that? I wouldn't be shocked if it's a total joke of a class. Who knows? Maybe it's amazing. I don't know. But it was established in 2017. It's like sounds like it was made like a get out of jail free card for people like Nick Lachey who like fucked up or whatever and got angry, and some petty photographer is now suing or going after Nick Lachey. But I'm just wondering, and again, correct me out there, whoever knows more about AA, like just because he got drunk one night, what is going to AA gonna do? You know, and does he have to stay in it for a year? My understanding is like once, you know, you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic, and like you stay in AA, you go to meetings, you get a sponsor, and you go and you listen to people's story, and at some point you get encouraged to just, you know, go up. We've all seen the movies. Hi, I'm Nick Lachey, an alcoholic, and you tell your stories, and like I don't think, you know, let's assume, you know, every once in a while Nick gets drunk because we all, you know, many of us have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I'm Nick Lachey, and a paparazzi fucked me over.
It says on AA's website, anyone with a desire to stop drinking is welcome, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion. You don't have to pay anything. You can just sit and listen and learn more about recovery, or you can share about your situation. It's completely up to you. So
what if he doesn't want to stop drinking? Because like I've seen the video, like, you know, we can, you know, this is a debate that we can have, that people have all the time, but there was a paparazzi photographer. It sounded like Nick Lachey felt like his privacy is being not respected. Now, granted, he's out in public and like you can kind of do it, you know.
Yeah, well,
he's not legally, he's not entitled to that privacy. But
do you want to hear his statement?
Yeah.
He said, last night, after enjoying a great dinner with my wife and our dear friend, the paparazzi harassed us as we were walking back to our hotel. I clearly overreacted. I've been in this game long enough to know that their antics are sadly part of the deal. Stupid of me. Done.
Yeah. I mean, they do have antics. They don't respect boundaries. Some of them are lovely and very nice, and some of them are not. You know, and after a while of like, they might just follow you for an entire night. It can feel really like shitty.
Shavings make a pile kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like we're seeing this reaction and we might not see like a photographer.
And yeah, and then they have him on tape, and they have this one kind of out of context moment where he looks like an ass. Maybe he was a total ass. I don't know. But I think it's far more likely that Nick Lachey is not going to stop drinking, that he's not an alcoholic. And I'm just wondering, why is he being made to go to AA? It just seems like stupid. Anger management, okay, I guess. But even then, it's like, hey, man, next time you're getting harassed by a paparazzi, like...
I imagine that this was like the best, his lawyer was like, okay, here's the best thing.
Totally.
We're gonna lean on the alcoholic.
I just think it's, like, if I'm Nick Lachey, I take the deal. But I think it's just, it's stupid. Stupid.
I would be very, because I've been to Al-Anon meetings, which are like the meetings that AA has for like family members. And I feel like a big part of like AA as a whole and their philosophy is this like zero barrier to entry. Like in no way are we going to question you. Like it takes so much emotional energy to like show up. They're
welcoming everyone. I get it.
Right. So I'm curious like what an alcoholic's perspective is, or like somebody who's like a big part of the AA community who like for whom this has been an essential resource in like changing their life, how they feel about this kind of like, oh, so you're just going to show up at our meetings
like
so you don't have to get a criminal record?
Yeah, it's just use it as a get out of jail free card.
Or maybe they would have the perspective of like, you know, even if he's not there yet of really believing that this is an issue, if he's behaving that way on alcohol, his drinking is a problem, and him being here and listening to others is helpful. I
think it's hard because we don't know.
He could have been sober and had that reaction and just happened to have been drunk. And the difference between... Yeah, like alcohol might have been the difference between sober Nick Lachey being like, I should know better, I shouldn't react, and just like, you know, we've all gotten upset, drunk or not, and been like, you know, fuck, you know, I overreacted, I'm sorry. No one's walking through life never having to have apologized for losing their temper. You know, like we don't all have to go to anger management just because someone's like, fuck, you know what? I lost my cool a little bit there. I apologized.
Yeah, but this is
literally have
also
all
like
been there.
assault and battery, technically. Like losing your temper versus
And the
actually.
assault part was him grabbing the camera,
So
hitting the car window.
the photographer said he flipped me off. Then I heard Vanessa say, "Go get him, open the door." And then he started walking towards my car all aggressive. I immediately locked my door and rolled up my window as fast as I could. He then started punching the window. I thought he was going to break his hand. That's how hard he was hitting the glass. I'm surprised he didn't shatter the window.
So he beat up a window?
Well, she also claims he called her a pussy motherfucker, shoved his arm through my car window and tried to grab my cell phone, and added that she could smell alcohol in his breath for sure.
I mean, listen, he overreacted for sure. Anyway, it just sounds like a silly story.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't think so? With all the things going on in this world? Like, I don't know.
yeah.
Some paparazzi who's like harassing someone else, and then a celebrity who's overreacted and privileged and a little entitled. Like what else? Like,
I guess I just think it's kind of like I feel like I don't know that I have like a strong, like my mind has kind of changed a little bit as we've been talking about it. So I feel like it's interesting and like a discussion topic, but kind of bullshit as like a frontline news story.
What else we got?
Bad Bunny's ex-girlfriend suing him for $40 million for using her voice in music without her permission.
Ooh, how does she prove that?
Well,
Natalie was in the Bad Bunny video.
I know. So I feel like insider scoop, like
He did definitely try to like ask her out multiple times.
how did that happen? Like how did we get to her being in the music video?
Her modeling agency, they scouted her. I don't know. Like there was a specific ask for her, and they reached out to her modeling agency, reached out to Natalie, and then after, you could just tell like people from his team just kept calling her and asking her to like come back. So she got released, and then she forgot, like she left her bag there. So we went back to the shoot together just because we were running some errands. And after she left, and like you have to sign out when you get done with like a film job or whatever. Bad Bunny is known for like bringing random people to like Lakers games or whatever. Their production company specifically reached out and be like, Benito wants to take you to the Laker game and shoot another scene, and they're going to get all this press. And I was like, no. And then the next day she had a scheduled shoot, and then she got done. And then when she left, after she signed out, someone from her team called again. They're like, oh, well, did you leave already? She's like, yeah. She's like, well, Benito was hoping to say goodbye to you. She's like, well, I already left. And then it's 5 minutes later, another person called, and they're like, so yeah, we just like had a total like fuck up in scheduling. Can you come back? Benito wants to shoot another scene with you. And I'm like, you could tell it was totally bullshit. Like they just were trying to figure out how to get her to come back so like Bad Bunny can make a move on Natalie. It was kind of hysterical.
Wowie.
So, yeah.
Hot commodity.
From Natalie Joy to Kendall Jenner.
I know.
Literally, they lit her. It was like, I was like, could have been you.
He's like, well, I couldn't get that brunette, so here we go.
So anyways, 40 mil, huh?
40 mil. Not of money.
Is her voice in it?
Yeah. That's her saying Bad Bunny, baby. And it's used in 2 songs, I believe.
I mean,
Sounds like she's got a case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to make 40 mil, but they'll settle.
To my knowledge, like with Grammys, if you're in a studio and you make any form of contribution, you have to be credited. So literally, like if you sit in for one day and you're like, hey, like maybe you should make that kick drum a little louder, like you can be credited. Not necessarily monetarily, but like for a Grammy, you would basically.
What happens if you're not, though?
I'm sure there's a lot of instances where you're not, but it's like people have been like,
Yeah.
I made one small contribution, so I'm like tacked on to this award.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what it ends up being, but he'll have to pay something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
You can't just use someone's voice and not tell them, not credit them.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing
Maybe he didn't like. My guess is, he probably. I don't know how long Bad Bunny's been around. He's huge, like one of the biggest artists in the world right now. But maybe he just didn't like back when he was like first starting making music. Maybe he didn't think much of it.
And that's such a thing where it's like you think about when you're dating, when you feel like you feel so on the same team as the person you're with. Like it's not in your headspace in the same way that like they could try to use anything against you. Like I feel like if you have those kind of paranoid thoughts, you're like, oh, I'm having some paranoid thoughts in my relationship. I got to work on that. Maybe it's a little bit different when you're like an artist and you're inserting like relationship stuff into livelihood, but like still, like I wouldn't, like my ex used a like photo of me for his like album thing.
Yeah, and if he became the biggest artist in the world, you might reconsider your position on that. If you found out he became a multi-zillionaire or whatever.
I would
And-
honestly be so proud. I think his music is so wonderful.
but like you were, he didn't give you any credit. You made no money, and meanwhile, you just see the just money pouring in.
I think it would definitely depend on the breakup. Like if you were still like a little jaded because of the breakup, absolutely.
Like, I got your ass, bitch.
If you felt guilty because you broke his heart, you'd be like, go get it, babe. Proud of
Yeah.
you.
They'll settle. She'll probably make $1 million out of it,
Good for her.
There we go.
Get your
or
back.
$500,000. Something meaningful. She'll get a purse at least.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's
Or a
gonna-
Lakers game.
Yeah.
It's a good situation.
Yeah, or
Well,
Lakers game.
We have tons more stories, but we don't have time for them now, so we'll hit them in our pop roundup.
Viall Files Plus. If you haven't checked out Viall Files Plus, be sure to do so. It's a 7-day free trial. It's super easy. Just go to viallfiles.com. Just hit a button to subscribe. Pay with Apple Pay. $6.99.
$6.99.
$6.99 a month. Easy. Cancel anytime. You get more and more caller updates. You get pop culture roundup. You get all the episodes of Better Date Than Ever. All the rom-com recaps you can handle. We're going to be recapping Vanderpump Rules from the beginning, from the get. If you haven't listened to my interviews from the ladies from my season, talking about my season, if you like that sort of thing, it was wild, it was fun, and those episodes are all available. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget, next week we have Ariel. We're going to find out next week. Ariel will be coming to the studio directly after AFR to chit-chat with us. It'll be a lot of fun, and then we'll put that episode up as soon as it's ready, sometime Monday, Tuesday night. It'll be out early on Tuesday for everyone, hopefully ASAP, so be sure to check that out. And we'll be breaking down everything that happens that night, get to know Ariel a little bit better, find out her thoughts on Fantasy Suite Week, what happened?
Yeah.
You know, what
How did
happened
she
behind
feel
the scenes? How did
about-
she feel about it? And then obviously we'll get to know her a lot more, just Ariel the person, not Ariel on The Bachelor. And that's going to be our Going Deeper episode. And our recap for The Bachelor will be on Thursday.
With Ashley Gavin,
Ashley
very
Gavin,
funny
very
comedian.
funny
Look up her
big
TikTok
Bachelor fan.
immediately.
Yeah. So that'll be a ton of fun. Anything else we're missing? Don't forget, another episode of Better Date Than Never starts tonight. We're talking sex injuries.
Yeah.
Should be fun. So if you have a fun sex injury story, be sure to join us live because the comments are popping off. The comments are super fun. It's a great community. People are making friends there. If you're feeling a little lonely, maybe you just want a sense of a community, I'm telling you, the Better Date Than Never live chats are a lot of fun. People truly are connecting there, and if that's something that if you're just feeling a little lonely, come hang out with us tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. You won't regret it. And then for anyone who can't make it, again, all those episodes are available on Better Date Than Never.
Also, go to the Viall Files Instagram story. We're doing March Madness for love songs. It's still, we're in the round of 64. I get it. There's a lot of songs out there, but it's going to get heated. There's going to be some upsets, God willing. So please vote on our stories and throw us a follow while you're there.
All right. And answer Allie's, for those watching on YouTube, make sure to
Stay on your side of the goddamn booth.
comment on
Stay in your
on your
lanes.
booth etiquette. All right. Rachel Bilson, everybody. Listen, people, like most of us are just not great with our money. Do you even know what our interest rate is, or how it works, or how if you're spending or saving properly? Well, the good news is you don't need to, because Rocket Money is here for you. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place.
How many subscriptions do you think you have that you don't even know about?
Well, so many. But once I got Rocket Money, I saved literally thousands of dollars. That feature alone, incredible. It will just let you know if you have an app that you're paying for that you haven't used over a period of time, and it cancels it for you. It can also negotiate your bills, like your cell phone bills. Yeah, exactly. I know
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Shock and awe.
And lower your bills. It's incredible what it does. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you, so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want to. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about, like that streaming service you bought just to watch that one show that you didn't even like, and then you forgot to cancel it. Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money and save on average over $720 a year. $720, and that's just the average. I myself have saved more. Money's tight these days, so stop burning and throwing money away that you don't have to, And it's a simple solution. Just download Rocket Money. Stop throwing away that money, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses with ease by going to rocketmoney.com/VIALL. That's rocketmoney.com/VIALL. rocketmoney.com/VIALL.
Murder mystery. You guys do those parties or something?
Yeah, we just did one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Nick wants the next one to be at his house.
You got to do
I
it.
offered. I don't want it.
Hey.
He was begging.
He really wants
Every day
it.
he's texting me. Please.
He's trying to play it cool, but
Yeah, those are fun parties.
Yeah.
I hate
Pretend like-
organized fun.
You hate organized fun.
But we'll do the organizing for you.
But you were on The Bachelor for 4 seasons.
Oh,
Well, that
True.
wasn't fun.
Sometimes it had to have been fun.
Sure. I mean, sometimes.
How many times you could count on one hand?
Paradise was fun.
Paradise looks like fun.
Yeah.
Like if I could go to Paradise, like I want the host's job because that would just be fun. Or Wells's job.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make drinks though, but I feel like just being there would be
I
a
don't know
lot
if
of
Wells
fun.
really knows how to make drinks.
He's just there. I feel like he's a very.
I'm sure
integral
Wells has
part.
learned how to make drinks.
I would
but-
hope so.
you can pour a shot or a margarita. Like
yeah,
that's
it's like
very
there's
easy.
skilled
No one's-
bartenders,
no
and then
one's-
there's personality
no one's
bartenders.
like- It's not a mixology bar down there in Paradise.
Is it pretty basic?
I think so.
It's like Kirkland tequila.
Oh my gosh.
Probably.
By the way, I feel like someone told me that
Kirkland vodka is
Grey
Grey
Goose.
Goose.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, my brother and my sister-in-law are big into the vodka, and they told me this recently.
That what?
Like
Kirkland
the Costco
vodka.
brand
Is Grey
Vodka.
Goose.
Grey Goose.
is Grey Goose, like same distillery.
The exact same. There's nothing different, or it's the same distillery.
I don't know those
I took a
details.
swig out of one the other weekend. It was pretty smooth.
Okay. Good for you.
You're like, I'm not mad at Kirkland. vodka.
Rachel, how's it
Hi.
going? Welcome.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Well, how's your heart?
How's my heart?
Yeah. We ask all our guests.
How your heart is?
Yeah.
My heart's pretty
Usually
full with
they-
this with the
Usually
Kiki
it's
here.
like a reality TV star who's like on the brink of
like just ultimate
trauma.
heartbreak
Yeah.
and fucking.
But,
Did you
you know.
cuss on here? Sorry.
Yeah, you can cuss. But how is your heart?
It's full because
It's full.
Kiki's here with me.
Yeah, the office dog.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm obsessed. She's a Chihuahua of sorts,
Yes.
right? Mix.
Yeah.
I was not into Chihuahuas for a long time until I really knew one.
Mm.
It was he was a Chihuahua mix. Anyway, now I have a very fond feeling towards them
Okay.
and
Yeah.
towards dogs like yours, like Jeff.
Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, a doodle. I'm a fan
You'll
of
have
a
to meet
doodle.
him someday.
Yeah, for sure. I have a Shih Poo, so she's
Is that the actual name?
she's a Shih Tzu poodle, so
Shih
no,
Poo.
it's not.
Okay.
It's Shih Poo, but I feel like she's a little shit. So it works.
Okay.
Yes,
But you're doing well.
I'm doing well.
You're thriving.
How are you doing?
Pretty great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the new studio.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's new?
What's new?
Other than you, I have here
Oh boy, what do you have? I can't wait.
Orgasms. ... You made headlines saying
I sure did, and I knew.
you
You
hadn't
know,
had an orgasm. No, well,
that's not
this
true.
Is not, you hadn't had an orgasm via sex.
Let's clear this up,
P
shall
in
we?
the V.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then Amanda said, "Care to elaborate?"
I do care to elaborate.
Floor is yours.
I do care to elaborate, guys, and I knew this was going to come up. I figured it would be your opener, and here we are. I
have
had
to do my job.
I had Whitney Cummings on my Broad Ideas podcast. She was explaining to me that she got off birth control, and at 40, she was able to have an orgasm through sex. Actual, penetration, like it's happening then.
Yeah.
P in the V? Sure.
P in the V.
And I just jumped on that, and I was like, when I was older, I was able to do that too. Because, now let me tell you guys, it has nothing to do with any partners, okay? People like to just make stories. It had to do with me knowing my body.
So what were like? Was your fan base just like just up in your ex's like just comments being like, "You suck at sex"?
Apparently, there were certain names brought up in both regards, and I'm not okay with that because it had nothing to do with that.
We were not shaming any exes. It
No,
wasn't- okay.
or giving a trophy to any other exes. Like
Okay.
nobody was involved other than myself.
Okay.
It was all about me. I can now do it, I'm sure. I don't want to say with any partner, but I feel like because I know my body well enough, potentially I could. It's all about knowing my own body and myself.
What was the secret sauce, so to speak? What?
Well, maybe anatomy has a little bit to do with it sometimes, but it's really finding, look, I still get a little embarrassed talking about this stuff. And my mom is very open sexually. So my whole life sex has been on the table, okay? Like just talking about it. I still get a little like, I don't know if I want to talk about this, but it's positioning, it's comfortability, it's knowing your body. All those things come into play.
Okay.
Do you feel like psychologically kind of like your headspace plays a big role?
For sure. Well, you get in your head, right? And
Mhm.
then there's pressure and all these things come into play. But once you're comfortable, and like I said, once you like know how, then you can kind of make it happen for yourself. Does that make sense? Are you guys able to?
Nope.
Are you like, I'm turning it on you?
No, I genuinely am like,
I am,
I
in
text
case you're
my friends
interested.
and I'm like, do
I'm
I
sure.
need to see a doctor? Like that's
No,
the
so
stage I'm at.
It's like, I don't know the exact statistic, but it's somewhere in the 80th percentile of women that can't or haven't
Had an orgasm via
via
penetrative sex.
yeah, but because it actually has nothing to. My mom went into detail with this on how it works, and it's not really like the woman doesn't really have a G spot, and it's about the positioning and your clit and like all these things. And I don't. You can have my mom on if you'd like, and she
Should
can
we call
explain
her?
it. No, I'm not. No, she's at the eye doctor. I tried to call her. I tried to call her on mine, and I didn't tell her she's being recorded, and she got so mad.
Okay, so we won't do that.
We won't do that right now. But if you care to know more, she would be happy to elaborate.
Okay.
But that makes sense, right?
Did you, prior to this revelation, guys are commonly known for phrases like, did you come? And stuff like that during sex.
Is that what you say every time, Nick?
Not me. But,
But you
did
make
ever-
sure your girl
Oh,
is
for
taken
sure.
care of.
But have you ever lied or faked the orgasm?
No.
Never.
So I stand by that. I never have. I know
Good for
a
you.
lot of women that do. But, and it's like we said, it's not easy for a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I will give credit where credit's due. And like, you can still have really good sex without it. But I don't like to lie.
That's great.
It's as simple as that. I just don't like to lie.
On a recent episode of Better Date Than Never, which is our live show where we talk about like sex and dating and things like that, it was
Yeah.
a big discussion point where it became evident that the ladies, callers, people who listening suggested it was a rare occasion for men they dated to check in, ask them things that they like, what do you enjoy,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. Just a kind of a lack of communication. You know, it sounds like, you know, you were raised with a level of comfort around sex. Is that something, you know, that younger you was always open with? And how did you communicate and make sure your expectations were met during sex? Or was that still something that, you know, you had to get over? And did you experience men, you know, not giving a shit and not checking in and not asking you what you enjoyed? And how did you kind of rectify that? And what changed for you in dating? If it did change?
Those are like 100 questions.
Yeah,
in
I'm
one.
sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best here. Obviously, different partners, everything, you know, it's all different. And there's certain guys that check in, and there's certain guys that like to put the woman first. And I think it also goes back to like first dates. Like, is he asking you questions? Is he listening? Or is he just talking about himself? And, you know, those kind of go hand in hand in my experience with people's character. Like, you can kind of tell, well, I don't know. Some people put on a front, sure. But I think that is telling. But yeah, every guy's different. I do think it's nice when the dude like checks in with you too, of course. But I am a people pleaser. This is a problem of mine. I can get pretty old fashioned and like I have to take care of my dude. And, you know, I fall into that pattern. But as I've gotten older, I think I've become more vocal and more comfortable with being vocal about it.
Great.
Well, I feel like it's something that came up in that conversation that I'm curious.
Like, I have no follow-up.
You're like, okay, where do we go from here?
I feel like something that
Mm-hmm.
practices you cultivate, like as a whole, like relationship, sex, like the
Pay it forward. Like, just
He's the Starbucks barista. You're in the drive-thru and you're passing it back to the person.
Yeah, or like things where you'll
paying
intervene
for their frap.
Yeah,
Right.
like where you'll intervene and be like, this is like for the greater good of society. More people need to behave like this.
oh gosh, and you're just talking about like sex.
have you ever given like an ex a breakup note on the way out? Be like, hey, by the way, in the future, stop doing this with future girls, or do this.
Oh,
you ever done that?
No, I'm kind of cutthroat to a fault. My friends say when I get cutthroat, like, because I get over things a little too easily. Like I have a switch, and then I'll just be done.
You're just over it.
And I'm out. Maybe that's not the best as far as like communication goes, because you could have a conversation like why things didn't work or whatever. But yeah, communication is great. It's difficult for me, and I can speak personally, to be super communicative in that area, like in the bedroom, unless I'm really comfortable with someone, I think. And as far as like paying it forward, I mean, I think I pay them a lot of forwards first, if that makes any sense. Oh God.
Rachel Bilson,
Dig
the
me out of
generous
this.
lover.
Get me out of this pit here.
Well, we can debunk the fact that it seems like nowadays when you get written up about past relationships, or even myself, they'll throw in us.
Our super epic relationship.
Yeah,
Nick.
fun relationship.
A dinner, a confirmed dinner.
That-
Confirmed
allegedly.
dinner with a group of people.
with a group of people that never happened. Like, yeah.
No, Nick and I never dated.
We did troll the
clarified.
internet.
We
though.
did.
Yeah, so that's
That
on
was
us.
fun.
That is on us. Like
It was. We were messing around.
Yeah.
Not together, but
we
I mean
were
with
both
the internet.
epically single, and we wanted the attention.
This
clearly.
is a shit story question, but do you feel like there was one of you, obviously like neither, you were very happy like keeping it where it was. Do you think there was one of you who was like more open to being like, if it progressed, I feel slightly more open to that possibility?
I don't think so.
I don't think it ever got to a point where it
Yeah,
was
because
a thought.
she was on my podcast. We became good friends. I quickly had this idea. We almost did a Bachelor podcast together.
Because I'm obsessed with
Yeah.
Well, not as of late, but I am a fan.
So we, instead of recapping it on the Viall Files, which we started doing in January, Rachel and I were going to do a spin-off podcast, and she was going to be like the celebrity guest, and I was going to be the insider, and it was going to be called Making Love with Nick and Rachel. I had an Instagram saved already for it. Yeah.
Aw.
And then she got some gig, and then she bailed on me.
I bailed.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's
and,
why.
And while we were like, planning the show, we were like trolling each other, probably like in anticipation
it
for.
was literally to get attention for the podcast.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that's a tease up to what we're doing. Even though it didn't come to fruition, that was the intention.
That was the intention.
Do you still have the Instagram handle?
I got rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
that- I
a
don't
partner
think-
would be like, who the fuck is Rachel?
Yeah, right? That wouldn't be
What is
good.
this username? Making love.
It just said Making Love. Yeah. That was the Instagram handle.
It was just at Making Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I would
clever.
have followed.
That
That's
feels like
catchy.
a valuable handle to have.
I think it would have done well.
I think it would have done well. I mean, our show's doing great, but I think it would have been
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
No, yeah, right.
It could have been
well
great.
done. Well done, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, you bailed. So like,
I did bail.
I need-
It's a fine line, like acting and podcasting, and it's
it all worked out for you're thriving. We're thriving.
everyone's thriving.
Everyone's thriving.
I don't believe in regrets.
Okay, what's something that you would have done differently in the past, looking back in a relationship?
I kind of like get into it a little quickly, like pretty serious.
You fall hard.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's like mutual. It's not like I'm just like on one end, like
Mm-hmm.
tripping over my own feet, but I tend to invite that in pretty prematurely, and I reciprocate.
Okay.
And I've learned that, taking time is a good thing. You know all about that, right?
Yeah, I have also
You've
been
taken a
guilty
lot of time.
of falling fast and
Right.
hard.
Right.
Yeah.
You're on your third engagement?
Touche.
Hi, Nick.
Touche.
Hi.
I'm loving this. This is going really well, guys. So glad we got Rachel on.
Sorry. Can't help it. This is how I am with my friends.
So, bling ring.
Yep. Bring it on. I got lots of stuff.
That sucked.
It did suck.
Yeah.
It
Well,
did.
It's very violating to have anything happen to you. For example, the other day, Natalie left her car unlocked and realized that someone opened the door. Now,
Ooh.
granted, she left it unlocked, but people, when your car's in a parking lot, some people just go around, see if people just leave the car door open.
I didn't know that was a thing.
And she, she has a secure, it will let her know if her car door is open. So she got a notification. And that alone was just a very kind of, it just gives you the heebie-jeebies, it's very violating.
For sure.
And I can only imagine what that was like. Like, how did you find out that this was going on? And what? How did you deal with that? How did you deal with realizing that people were in your house and doing God knows what? I mean, that must have been...
I kind of know what they were doing, but yeah, I was out of town and they went into my house apparently like 5 separate times. And my biggest takeaway, and I've talked about this before, is one of the girls got so comfortable she shit in my bathroom. And I was like, if you're taking a poop in someone's bathroom, like you're a little comfortable, like that's a little too comfortable for me.
Got a little cocky.
And I think that was the most violating, more than like taking the things. But here's the thing, like I forget who discovered it, maybe my mom or something. And she's like, the house has been robbed, but it's really weird because like all the TVs, like all the things that you would think would be stolen, if someone's burglarizing a home, weren't. She's like, all your clothes are gone. Like all your purses are gone. All your shoes are gone. Now I wear a size 5, like 5.5, so I don't know what they were doing with those. So it was just really weird. So we knew it was something was up. So yeah, it was super violating. It felt awful. And for a long time, once we found out this Bling ring existed and they were responsible, I was like, dude, these fucking kids they don't realize like how this affects the people.
Yeah.
It's super violating. And then I got robbed again by not the Bling ring. I believe it was paparazzi related at like a house I was renting. All my purses, all my shoes. I was like, dude, first of all, I got to stop buying purses and shoes. And second of all, what the fuck?
Is your home security system just
I got
top notch?
I got top notch now. Yeah. Yes, definitely. And it sucks because you can just Google people and find out where they live.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure someone could Google your name and get your address.
Oh, no, I literally was staying at Nick's house one time and he was at Ben Higgins' wedding.
Yeah.
And so like everyone was posting that he's out of town with Natalie. They're at Ben Higgins' wedding.
Right.
I'm there by myself. And I was like, I'm going to get Bling ringed. And I was like, and who's going to protect me? Jeff? Like, I was like, not Jeff.
Jeff's a decent guard dog.
No,
he barks.
he's not. He'd
he barks.
pee on them.
He would do a tiny squirt of pee.
He'd have a little tingle.
He does the excited pee?
Here's the thing. He does the excited pee, but loud, like yippy dogs are actually great security dogs because I had literally a Secret Service agent tell me this, who also did like some security for me. Just kind of gave me the tour, around my house, told me like some vulnerable spots, how to fortify my place, so to speak. Because I had a catfish show up at my door.
You had a catfish?
Yeah.
How did that? What? Elaborate.
Well, I was like a list just swam in my. No, it was actually really traumatic.
The woman was catfished.
A woman was catfished
into thinking it was Nick talking to her.
It was me.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And
thank you.
And apparently there was someone else doing this. I don't know, or people or whatever. Occasionally I'd get some random message saying so and so is trying to be you, and you're, if you can catch it, then you report them on Instagram or block them or whatever. And then I got some random fucking weird like bouquet of flowers and this really weird note. And then we kind of reported that. It was this kind of weird. And then like 2 weeks later, like 7 a.m, some young woman, not young, I don't know, probably 30 or 40, I don't know, showed up at my door from Toronto.
What?
And was like in this panic, and I immediately knew what it was. And as soon as I answered the door,
You opened the door?
Yeah. And then
don't ever open the door. That's
I was
rule
like,
number one.
Well, at first,
do you not have like a gate?
No, I didn't know. It was just a person at my door.
Okay.
And then I opened the door and immediately realized what was going on, and I kind of like closed it, and I quickly realized I was safe. Like I was like, okay, this person's not going to kill me. They're just. I felt empathy for them. This person had been like duped for a long period of time, and
wow.
And needed to like verify that it wasn't what she thought it was, and like got on a plane, and it was
That's
traumatic
crazy.
and crazy, and I had to kind of talk her off the ledge, so to speak. And she kept saying, I'm not crazy. And I said to her, like, I hear you, but I need you to breathe and recognize that what you're doing right now is. And then
she like heard you.
Kind of heard me a little bit, but I digress. Anyways, after that, I kind of had a security team come and just do some, it gave me some information. And they mentioned how like just when it comes to comes to burglars and like home invasions like that, most of them, they're looking for convenience, right? So, loud dogs, like they'll skip that house because it's like, that's just creating a noise. Like, so anything that really makes it inconvenient for them, because so many people are like leaving windows open or gates open, and like they don't want to hop and jump fences, like obviously if they have clothes, maybe they can put in a backpack, but like loud dogs, even if they're little, are actually great security dogs.
It's like that you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun
Thank God I
the
got
other
you,
people you're
Keeks.
with kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm safe with Keeks.
So if a burglar walks up and they hear a dog just kind of, Jeff, if someone comes up to the door
He barks.
and he senses them, he'll go off and that's a big deterrent.
For sure.
Yeah.
My dog's a yipper.
Yeah.
She's 8 pounds.
Have you ever been catfished or someone pretend to be you, or you ever had a weird situation like that?
I mean, I think there are fake, Instagrams and whatnot. I don't know that I've been catfished, and if I have, I haven't, gone to the extent of finding out if they thought I was real or vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your favorite smell, and what do you think it says about you?
My favorite smell in general?
Yeah.
What's yours?
You gotta answer first. What's my favorite smell, and do I think it says about me?
Yeah, I want to hear.
Burning wood, campfire smell.
That's a good one.
Is up there. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's the first thing that came to mind.
Okay.
What does that say about me?
Oh yeah.
I'm nostalgic, and I like fire.
Those are okay. That works.
What about you?
I like cooking, like when you have like onion or garlic, like cooking in a pan. It reminds me of my grandma. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
But I also like a man smell. Like if you're in love with someone, like their smell, even if it's like
Their
bad,
BO.
you're just like into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that says about me.
Probably good. Like you're.
It's a good thing. Sure.
Pheromones.
I would say that.
Yeah,
I would
pheromones are
say that's
important,
good.
by
I
the
would
way.
say that like you're
What am I?
comfortable with yourself.
Okay.
That's what I would say it means.
I like
because
that.
like there's a level of you're not like ew,
Right.
like
But don't you
body
feel like
odor is a
it's a
personal thing.
Like
It's personal.
pheromones are really like I've
Yeah.
hooked up with someone before and I'm like, ooh, you like kind of smell like my grandpa. I can't go there. You know what I mean?
That happened.
Not with my grandpa, but
No, but with a guy who smelled like your grandpa.
yeah, I was like, this isn't gonna work.
Did you tell him why?
No.
What's dating for you like nowadays? What's going on? Like, what are you out there? Are you on the apps?
No, I'm not. I've never been on an app.
Ever.
Ever.
That makes sense. You've been too famous for too long.
Well, I don't know about that, but thanks, Nick.
Well, you have.
I don't know. There's been pressure from my friends to like get on Raya, but I don't want to do it.
Raya is. I mean, I guess you might be able to meet someone, but
No, I'm not. Basically, I'm not going to go on an app. I'll just say
Okay.
that.
And how are you meeting people?
Have
Have you slid into any DMs?
No, I've never done that.
Why not?
How do you feel about that? Well, that's how you met your fiance,
Yeah, she slid into mine.
right?
Yeah,
So like, it's positively received.
it can be. Yeah.
I've never done it. Have you guys done it?
Oh, all the time.
All the time?
She shoots her shot. It's so impressive.
You do?
I'll like find like musicians on TikTok and then I'll go to their Instagram
Yeah.
and I'll be like, let's grab a drink next time you're in LA. And I usually get pretty positive feedback. They have never taken me up on my offer, but I usually get
Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever been on the old gram and like scrolling and you're just like, like I would like to get to know this person. You've never.
I mean, sure. Like you're like, oh, like he's cute or whatever, but I don't know if I have the balls to be like,
I find that hard to believe.
really?
You seem like you.
Sure. In a lot of areas, sure. But like making the first move is like a whole different ball game.
So do you think most of your relationships, you have been the pursued one?
Yes. And I'm 41. I have no problem with like, I feel comfortable enough with myself to be like, hey, if you get rejected, you get rejected. Like, whatever. I don't know.
What about like a passive slide?
Like what?
You could just respond to like something.
Something they
Be
post.
like, oh, cute shirt. Like, like I don't know.
A soft slide.
Yeah, just like an opener
A soft slide.
that
is
makes
that
you
what you said?
you're like
I
kind of
like that.
yeah, you're just kind
A
of
soft slide.
responding.
If it's
to
not a slide, is
something.
it like a scooch?
Or is it just
Like it's not
yeah,
all
it's
the
like
way.
a
It's just like a
scooch.
little like.
Yeah.
It's like a little toe.
Yeah.
Like if I were single
Yeah.
and a lady of the night.
All of a sudden, we're ladies of the night.
So a sex
Re-
bot.
responded.
A sex slide?
Like I posted, let's say I posted, like one of those creepy selfies I tend to do from time to time or whatever.
Your mirror ones?
What?
Whatever. I just like,
Shirtless.
yeah.
Oh.
And not even shirtless. Let's say it was just,
Oh, okay.
like,
Just you in the mirror.
yeah, just me in the mirror, put on today's outfit, look of the day, my OOTD. And someone like replied like, oh, like love the shoes, great look, fire look or whatever, or like where'd you get those pants? And if I thought they were cute, I'd strike up a conversation,
What if it was just like a random emoji, like a
Sure.
potato?
Yes.
That would
Sure.
be a move.
Conversation starter.
If
Throw
she,
potatoes at the wedding.
if,
I mean-
if a person I was interested in like basically acknowledged that I was alive, that it would be enough.
But how would the person know if they were interested in them?
Send a
You just
potato
shoot your
emoji.
shot.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my move. So if anybody out there sees a potato, it's me.
Yeah. It's
But that is more my move, like them being like, "Hey, like fire outfit."
you should just send a bunch of potato emojis out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
It's like fishing with dynamite. Just
Potato of love.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. If I try it, it will just be to see what happens, and
So
I will
you're-
let you know.
you have friends who are like,
A little bit. Look, I have a kid. I'm busy. It's not like it's not like I'm just like available to date whenever
Yeah.
I want, But I've been fine. I've been content. But like, I don't know. I get to the point where like I'm like, do I even want a relationship?
I hear you. You have your kid. You're
Yeah.
You're thriving.
Yeah, like
If
I'm
it's
pretty
not
comfortable.
serving you, like what's the point? So
yeah,
you,
it would have to be to actually take it to that level. It would have to be super worth it.
How did you and Bill meet?
Oh my God, Nick.
Sorry, I was dying to know.
Ugh. How did we meet? We did a movie together. That's how we met
Okay.
initially.
What
And
movie?
then it was called The To-Do List, which, by the way, his ex-wife Maggie Carey, who's brilliant, wrote and directed it. And Aubrey Plaza stars in it. And I play her sister. It is such a good movie. It's really funny. And
The
I feel
To-Do
like,
list.
yeah,
Well, Aubrey
needed
Plaza, Rachel
more-
Bilson.
All-star
Bill
it
cast.
Hader.
has so many
Yeah.
people in it. Andy Samberg's in it. There's so many people in it. Donald Glover's in it. Yeah, anyway.
What a great cast.
It's a great cast. It's
The
a great
To-Do List.
movie.
And where you can find this like on Amazon Plus or
I
something?
would imagine.
Or
It's a great
Amazon?
film.
Amazon
Amazon
Plus.
Plus.
The-
Prime.
Amazon,
You mean
I don't
Prime
think-
Video.
yeah.
Viall
Prime.
Files Plus.
Five Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Paramount Plus with subscription or available for purchase on YouTube, Apple,
Okay.
Vudu, Google Play.
There you go.
All right.
It's a really funny movie. So yes, that is how we initially met.
Other than super personal questions on a podcast, what gets under your skin?
Those don't get under my skin.
Just
I just
kidding.
don't want to keep talking about
I hear you.
Homeboy. What are my pet peeves?
Yeah, what are your pet peeves?
When you park and then you walk to the store and then there's a closer parking spot.
Have you moved your car?
You get mad at yourself?
Have you gone
Yeah.
back and moved your car?
Those
don't think I've
30
gone
steps
to
really
that
get under your
extent.
skin?
My sister
It's
has
just-
made me stand there in the spot
No.
while she went and got the car. Do you know the death glares I got as I stood in a parking spot? And I was like,
Oh.
my sister's coming with the car. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, that I wouldn't go to that level. I mean,
Yeah.
respect to your sister and to you for doing it.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Tonight on Better Date Than Never, plug, we're talking sex injuries.
Ooh. Yeah.
Have you had any?
Sure.
Care to elaborate?
Sex injuries. You know, where you just are out of commission for a while. That's all.
Just because it was like
Wow.
a good shag?
It was a good shag.
So it was more of, it was less of, like, we less of like an impact injury, more wear and tear, so to speak?
It was both.
Yeah, like an ACL.
I don't like the word tear happening
Yeah,
with like
tears are big.
my cooter.
Yeah, it's not because that happens with childbirth. I mean, with sex, that would be quite the accomplishment on the gentleman's behalf. I'm sure.
Sorry.
What? You're right over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
So no, really.
I mean, not anything other
It's
than
just
like
nothing that just like it was just a couple.
not like you have to go to the doctor and get
Yeah, yeah.
you know
okay.
fixed.
Do you have a favorite Halloween costume?
Did you come up with these questions?
The reason, okay, I'm going to defend myself. I like that question because I think it's like, there's an expansive possibility, but it's like focused enough
We're just
that
seeing
it's
where
like,
it goes.
it's not like you have to like come up with it on the spot. Like it's hard to come up with a time that you've like given harsh, honest feedback, but like you can think through your Halloween costumes.
Sure.
Is there one you're most proud of?
Probably a hot dog. I like
Ooh.
going against
The grain.
the grain.
Yeah.
I like I'm going to wear
You weren't
a sexy fairy.
hot dog? Yeah.
A sexy hot dog. Oh, that would be good. Yeah, no, I like being like, I go for the funny over the sexy, I guess.
Okay. What are you watching these days? I know you haven't been watching Bachelor.
I haven't. Should I download? I have to go on a plane ride. Should I watch it? Should I binge it?
I mean, listen, I everyone likes to complain. I think, especially when they stop watching,
yeah.
it's like the show's been out for 20 some years, and then people are, it makes sense that after, it's kind of the same show every season.
But you have to I find, because Bachelor in Paradise is my favorite, you need to watch so some of the people.
I think this season's been entertaining. I mean, it's not.
It's always
groundbreak-
entertaining.
Yeah, it's not groundbreaking TV. Is it kind of like most seasons? Sure. Is Zach a little boring like most Bachelors? Sure. They
Most
had.
Bachelors are boring.
You don't think so?
The past couple I haven't watched because of
I
that.
think it's
so
been a
sure.
great group of women. They've been entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. We've enjoyed talking about it.
You guys, do you think I should binge it?
On the most recent season,
There's a pause.
plane.
Well, do you like the love stories or the drama?
I mean, I do like the love stories.
there's some love stories
There's
this
love
season.
stories.
I
Yeah.
think it's like
All
a
right.
slow build as opposed to like when it's like a lot of fighting
And
weeks
then-
2 and 3.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
week
I can
was
respect
Sex
that.
Week, according to Zach.
Right.
Yeah. And
According
Zach,
to Zach.
well, yeah, Zach called it Sex Week. He wasn't. I don't think he coined
called
the
it
phrase.
Sex Week.
Mm-hmm.
He
He
said,
doesn't strike me as someone that would even say that word.
I don't know.
But he delivered it in a way where he's like, "This week
He said it very
is referred
earnestly,
to as sex week."
and he took advice from Sean Lowe,
Yeah.
and Sean.
Wait,
apparently-
Sean Lowe is
Yeah.
the one married to
Catherine.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have really cute kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, got
And
it.
then apparently Sean told him not to have sex.
What?
I guess. And
What?
I don't know, in so many words, apparently. He said, I'm not going to have sex this week. He sat down with Jesse. He's like, hey, it's sex week, but this guy's not having sex.
Zach's not having sex.
He's like, because I got advice from Sean Lowe. That's what he said. Jesse was like, I don't know. You sure you don't want to fuck? And Zach was like,
That's what he said.
No, I don't want to. And then he had his first date with a woman named Ariel. I think it's going to be Ariel.
Pronunciation pending.
We don't know if it's Ariel or
Ariel.
Ariel.
Yeah.
and they've said
we-
it, and it's changes.
She
Kind
is our
of,
guest
yeah.
next week. We will find out.
She what?
She's our guest next week.
Oh, so she's
Yeah, so
done.
she just was eliminated. Yeah.
Oh, she was eliminated on the show.
She just this is past week.
After sex week.
After sex week.
So you have her.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And then his second date, he was like he told every time he sat down with all these women, he's like, we're not having sex on camera. And then the second date, he's like,
we're not having
ha-
sex
we're
on
not-
camera? I mean, I hope not.
Well, he just said on camera, we're not having sex. And
Got it.
then she was like, we'll see. And then they had sex.
They
and-
they admitted it?
Zach wants to do the right thing. He's well intentioned with like really bad decision making.
Mm.
And so then he decided to then tell he's like, he walked into Gabby's room. He's like, hey, so like that was amazing. But also like I'm feeling guilty because I said I wasn't going to do it. And I'm about to have another date with someone else. I'm going to tell her.
And
And
he had
she,
sex with the girl.
and she, you could see the look on her face was like, well, you realize you're telling everyone, but thanks. So it's good. I mean, it's been fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I know what happens.
Well, sure.
Okay.
But like,
But it's okay. I'm okay with it. 'Cause I don't know who any
spoiler,
of these people
yeah.
are. But again, we've talked. He's 25, 26.
yeah, ish. Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. He grew up it sounds like it has had a wonderful life growing up in Pasadena. I think that's where he grew up. Right?
You always say Pasadena, and he's
Where-
from Anaheim.
What's the fucking difference?
That's a big difference.
Thank
Is
you,
it?
Rachel.
Sorry.
That is a
Anaheim.
big old difference,
He grew
Nick.
up in Anaheim. His uncle is Putty from Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, of course I know. He was on the
Hometowns.
show.
Yeah. Anyway, you're not watching Bachelor. What are you watching these days? What's keeping Rachel Bilson entertained?
I tried, as far as reality goes, that's your wheelhouse. I tried Perfect,
Perfect Match.
but I didn't see the last 2 episodes.
You didn't miss anything.
I was like, okay, because I was sick, so I just binged it because I was sick in bed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever.
Are you Team Francesca or Team Georgia? Because seems to be a big feud.
Oh, didn't you
between-
have? Who
I had
did
them
you
both
have
on.
You had
Yeah.
them both on,
Yeah, not together, but
right?
right.
What were they fighting over?
Fame, I think, attention. I don't know.
I don't know. Georgia
Clout.
seemed like sweeter. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
I think they portrayed very different kind of character tropes on the show. I
Sure.
think Francesca's point of view was she was cast to play a certain role. I think a lot of people are questioning.
I think she casted herself.
Exactly. Like, is she really being cast that way, or is that just her?
Right.
There's a lot of, like, what are we seeing on the show versus what's happening behind closed doors? Because
It seemed like Francesca wanted to play a role, and she was very strategic. Fine, no problem, and it backfired.
Mhm.
And then,
Who did she end up
Harry,
with?
Nobody. No one. Now she's in a relationship, which according to Georgia, she had before the show was.
They got in a fight about.
Well, Georgia and Francesca were fighting over the internet about like who's more disingenuous, or.
Oh, geez.
But they did both date Harry. Do we think it's just, are they fighting over Harry?
Did Harry come in later? I can't picture Harry.
No, Harry didn't come on Perfect Match. Harry is from
Okay, that's why
Harry
I don't know.
Jowsey.
No.
He was on
Too Hot to Handle.
Too Hot to Handle.
I didn't watch those shows. I watched the recap of Love is Blind, or whatever it's called,
The reunion.
after the altar.
After the
Mhm.
altar.
Yes.
Oh, the new season's coming out. Are you going to watch that?
yeah,
Fuck yeah, I'm
that'll
gonna
be
watch
out in like
that.
a few days.
Yeah.
Really?
Ooh.
I think March 24th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I have my show. I love that show.
Did you, what, Team Raven?
Well, yeah. I mean, after finding out that the dude cheated on her,
SK.
SK tried to get on this show.
and you said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the move.
It just,
Well, you had her
I
on.
want to hear, everyone's side, but his side seemed to be semantics. He was like, I'm sorry, but also I didn't do anything wrong.
What?
Was the gist I got.
100%. It
from
was, well, I apologize that Raven felt this way, but at that point, I don't believe we were really in a committed relationship. Plot twist, they had just been staying with her mother on a birthday trip, and he was like meeting the family. Like, it was just like, I was like, SK,
Yeah.
how can you say that?
Yeah, no.
And he was like, I took another girl to Cabo because I didn't think we were that serious. That was like his reason.
Sounds like communication's faltering there a little bit. Yeah, I would go for team her.
What keeps you up at night, Rachel? What do you worry about?
Everything. Worry?
Yeah, what do you worry about?
I mean, stupid stuff. Everything. My kid, it's hard. Let me tell you. Are you going to have kids?
I hope so. Yeah.
You both
Very
want
much
kids?
so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys don't have kids.
Mm-mm.
Do you want kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Allie's not sure.
That's correct, Nick. You read that correctly.
Well, you have a fur kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Yes. It takes up a lot of your mental capacity, just from logistics to their schedules and their extracurriculars to how they're handling other kids at school and drama and how that all goes.
Do you have any advice for the audience, for people co-parenting out there? Do you have any co-parenting advice? Because you co-parent with
I'm not going
Darth?
to say it. Yeah. His name's Darth. I do co-parent
Yeah.
and we do a good job,
What's the hardest part, and what's the secret to doing a good job and making sure that everyone's mental health is fine?
Let me just say this. It is different for every single situation. They'll say, you need a clear boundary, a clear line, keeping it separate. This is mom's house. These are mom's rules, and these are dad's, or whatever. Yes, sure. But it's all situational. With us, we do a very good job of staying on the same page. She still will spend time with both of us in certain circumstances, but communication is huge, and we're friends. I'd like to say. Hopefully, he would say the same.
Make it about the kid.
It's only about the kid.
Yeah.
The kid comes before everything else. Any personal feelings, anything that comes up, the kid is first.
Are there any elements of parenting where you've surprised yourself, where before having kids, you might have envisioned yourself doing handling things a certain way, or like being a certain kind of mom, and like now actually experiencing it, you're like, wow, I actually feel differently about that.
Yeah. I thought I would play more. Like the whole imaginary play thing. My mom's great at it. I'm like, I will sit, I will do a board game, I will color, I will build things.
But you won't act because if you're not
Because
getting paid.
acting is not my jam.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? But it also goes with me. Like, I don't like attention on me. I've always said, like, if I had a wedding, I would not want a big wedding. I don't want to walk down that aisle with people looking at me. Like, that is a nightmare to me. And they're like, you're an actor, right? And I'm like, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. I don't like attention. But yeah, the imaginary play is tough. You like attention.
I know.
You're like, I'm going to walk down the aisle.
No, to say I don't like
Nick
it.
is gonna throw the pedals.
Let me have this. I can't say I don't like attention. Of course I like attention, but in certain ways, I hate attention.
In what ways?
I don't like compliments.
You don't like compliments.
Make me feel very uncomfortable.
I feel like you hate unsolicited attention.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I think
You might be right.
in situations where you can kind of like opt in or out to have like focus on you or attention on you, like there's certain ones that you'll really participate in, but when people kind of like ambush you, so to speak, with attention.
Yeah, I like
you loved going, I feel like, on your book tour, and you're really proud of the book. And I feel like you enjoyed that attention.
Yeah, sure, right? And I enjoy, I guess, being recognized for things that are important to me.
Like your book.
Yeah, or working hard, sure. Recognition I like, but attention, I don't know if I like all that much.
It's just funny from someone who's been on many a reality show.
So you've been in the spotlight for 20 years.
But that's my work, not my life.
But in my work now, I've turned it into a job.
You have. You know what? You've done very well. And I commend you on your success. So good job. You worked hard.
Thanks.
You did great, Nick. Keep it going. I think you should keep doing this.
You asked me when I was on your podcast. It hasn't dropped yet, has it?
No, I think we're going to do you next week.
Ooh,
We're
wonderful.
bumping you up.
You asked me a question if we were doing some like Q&As advice, and you asked me, can you forgive a cheater or something like that? And we got into that.
Yeah.
Recently I've been talking, we had people, we're out there asked Nick's a lot of cheating and infidelity questions. Where do you stand? Because we had this kind of very popular, infamous caller. It was a big episode.
The call itself was very, it like elicited a lot of reaction.
A lot of reactions.
Okay.
She found out her friend was cheating on her boyfriend. This was a group of friends. They were all going to go on like a group trip. Her boyfriend was friends with her friend's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand on letting someone know they're being cheated on? Have you ever let someone know, or do you fall in the it's not my business category? Like, where do you stand on that?
I mean, it's definitely not your place, right? Like,
Sure.
to reveal someone's information. I think encouraging them to do the right thing is your place.
Sure.
Maybe.
What
Depending
happens
on
if they don't ever?
We had a situation in our group of friends where one of our best friends slept with one of our best friend's ex-boyfriends who she was super into. Granted, she was very wasted. She then became sober. But forever, like, all of us knew except the friend whose ex-boyfriend it was. So it was always like, you have to tell her. Because, like, we have all this information and we're super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like it came
Very
to
similar,
a point
yeah.
we one of our friends actually told the friend instead of the friend that did it. I think.
Because she ultimately refused.
Yeah, I just don't think she was. We were very young, like, early 20s. Things are a little muddled and whatnot.
They're more muddled in that age, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I'm always like, how are these 23-year-olds going on these fucking shows to get married? Like, dude, life and age and experience, there's a lot of worth in that. There's a lot of, lessons. You really do become, people have said, you're 40, how old are you?
42.
You're 42. 40s are fucking awesome. Like, I feel much better about myself now than I ever did.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Sure.
I mean, not everyone.
Not everyone has, or not
don't
everyone
know.
knows, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like young,
Okay.
super young, like first relationships kind
Gotcha.
of thing, which is kind of shitty because then it's like, oh, your first experience, you had to deal with this, and it happens. Now, here's this thing we talk about a lot on Broad Ideas is emotional cheating versus physical cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand on that? Did I ask you this already?
I don't think so, but what do
Okay.
you mean, where do I stand?
Okay, so some people feel that physical is worse or emotional is worse.
I don't think there's a worse. I mean,
I do.
It's subjective. You do.
Yeah.
What do you think is worse?
Physical could just be like, I fucked someone. Like, there's no feelings there. It was like just a physical thing. I feel like that's easier to mend from. And emotional, which is like a real connection where people fall in love.
Sure.
Like, I feel like that's more hurtful. That's my stance on it.
Yeah. But
What
then
do
how
you girls
but how
think?
do you define then emotional cheating, right? I mean, in that case that you
Yeah.
gave, it sounds like there was a romantic relationship and that turned into love, the example
Like
you
an
gave.
emotional affair.
Yeah.
Like an emotional affair.
But-
I think also like length
but-
sometimes.
But a lot of people will
Sure.
like, just like if you're, let's say someone's in a relationship and they
Mm-hmm.
get bored or whatever triggers them to cheat. I don't know, who knows? but they start texting someone,
Mhm.
and it's just like maybe it's you look hot, or it's just like they're saying inappropriate things.
Mhm.
Maybe they're pining for attention or a compliment, and maybe there's an
Right.
interest there, but like there's not like love or rapport. Like you would still
like
call
a
that
dick
emotional.
pic.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Maybe there's a dick pic or a
Okay.
nude or whatever.
Sure.
I would call that emotional cheating, but
You would call that emotional cheating?
yeah, like where do you draw the line with emotional cheating? There has to be like real feelings, or
Yeah, I'm talking about an emotional affair,
okay,
right? I'm not talking about like, oh, the dude sends or the girl sends a few flirty DMs. Which is not
What do you call
okay.
that?
Playing with fire, right? Like
Hmm.
that's the
So
beginning.
that's not cheating.
That's the beginning stages of it could go to the next step. I'm not giving permission for like people to cheat. Not what I'm
No, I
saying.
know.
But no, I don't think that's okay in a relationship. Of course not. But I'm specifically talking about physically cheating as opposed to an emotional affair.
Okay. Yeah.
You brought up like a third category that I don't know where it falls.
I guess
exactly.
I
Just like being shady as shit.
I just think it's all
Yeah.
cheating.
It's like a shadester.
I don't have like,
It's all cheating. Of course.
yeah.
It's none of it's okay.
And then I guess there's a spectrum of like how intense the cheating is, with the Vanderpump stuff or
right.
all this.
Which I only now know about because of you.
Yeah, you got to get into that.
Oh, that's what I should watch.
You
Oh
really
my
should.
God. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
what you need for
You
the
should
plane.
watch it.
Screw
And
I've
honest-
never seen a single
It
episode
doesn't
of
It's
that
fine.
show.
It
You can
doesn't
start
matter.
on. You can
It's
start
so
right
good.
on. You
I
can,
started it at season 1 because it's like the premise
Season
is that
1.
everybody
No,
fucks in
10.
a kitchen.
No,
I started
season
at
10.
season 1.
Oh,
But
well, you can start at season
in
10.
the new season.
You can.
It's 10
easily
is the new
start
season?
season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You
Because that's
can.
what
Fine.
I did.
Yeah.
I would watch the literal first episode or two and then season 10.
Got it.
Just
Just
that
to,
way
like,
you
get
like
to
are like
know
these are their
everybody?
roots. They all were working at a restaurant and wanting to be actresses, and it was like very
boy.
messy. And now then you see them where they are now, and it's like
Oh
whoa,
boy.
whoa, whoa.
I've seen on Instagram like there's stills for like the mid-season trailer or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's juicy.
Yeah.
It was like a surround sound moment.
I know it was. Like you pressed
But
a
yeah,
button.
there's a lot of people are going back and be like, he did this and this happened. That's so fucked up. And
I read a tagline. It's like, we had sex 4 times a year before I cheated. The guy, the
Yeah.
main guy, who was
Hmm.
the cheater. I'm like, dude,
He's a piece
that's
of shit.
fucked up.
oh, it's a laundry list of reasons why he's
Okay.
a piece of shit.
All right, well, I'm gonna watch and then I can have an opinion because I have none other than what Instagram's telling me. But yeah, so that's our debate that we have a lot is emotional.
And where does your co-host stand?
She thinks physical's worse than emotional, which I don't agree. Well, look, like I said, none of it's okay. But I do feel like someone having the feelings, like even I love you, would be worse than just fucking somebody.
Would you ever have an open relationship?
As I've gotten older, I'm not in one right now. So
No.
I'm like, oh, I wonder what that would be like. But I know when I'm in a relationship, I don't want to share or be
Yeah.
shared. How do you feel about it?
I feel like I understand the premise
Sure.
and I understand why people do it.
But you and Natalie are not.
we are not.
Yeah. No, I know you're not, but I mean, like, you guys aren't into it.
I think if you have enough communication and trust,
Mhm.
and you have, you're really good at communicating boundaries, I could see how it can work and how people are able to do it. But I think most people don't do it correctly, and most people
Right.
get into it and aren't honest with themselves with why they're doing it. And it shouldn't be a reason to just like fuck other people. It should be something that the relationship itself, you two are doing together. And you're, everything about it, whether, you fuck another person or he fucks another person or whatever it is, you both are doing this together.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people do it for themselves
Yeah.
and try to convince their partner it's something that they also want.
Right.
And
I've seen,
yeah.
marriages who are like, yeah, we can do open and then they divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky. It's a slippery slope,
Slippery slope.
as they say.
Yeah.
So no.
I'm curious, like with the conversation of emotional versus physical cheating, I feel like it's like with physical, I feel like there's a clarity to it where I think people have a pretty common definition. And sure, there's a few things where it's like maybe like a lingering hand on the lower back. Like there's that with some people would be like, hey, that's not cool. But in general, like it's pretty like cut and dry versus like emotional. It feels like so much of it falls on like disclosure
Mm-hmm.
of like one person like having all the information about whether or not it's cheating in terms of like they know how they feel when this person texts them and they respond to them. And it kind of seems like with open relationships, there's a similar level of like not really without that like kind of like strict, like these are the rules, we know we're all doing the same. There's a lot of like kind of like nuance and like space for two people to maybe reach different conclusions.
Mhm.
Well, and I feel like the emotional intimacy part is what separates a relationship from just being like fuck buddies.
Right.
So it's like, no, that's what makes what we have special.
Mhm.
So it's like, if it's just sex, yeah, I'm kind of with you of like,
Yeah.
it feels like it's easier to kind of brush off like a physical drunken hookup. Again, never saying it's like okay, and it
Mhm.
would still be really hard to get over, but I don't know. It's like you're if you're having an emotional affair with someone and like you're saying I love you and you're saying all these things, it's like, no, you're just in two relationships at the same time.
Mhm.
Could you get over someone cheating on you?
It's all circumstantial, you know.
So possibly.
No, I don't want to say
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, we're speaking hypothetically, and you're not being cheated on. You're not with someone right now, so it's hard to like
right,
specifically
so
answer.
Yeah.
But some people would be like, "No way, non-negotiable. It happens. I'm done." You know, yada yada yada. And some people would be like, "Well, I probably would be done, but like, I don't know. What's the circumstance? What's going
Well, you
on?
get
How do
older,
I feel? Yada yada. You know,
You
like,
get older and you're like, you have a life together, whatever it is. Things change a little bit, and you're like, well, what is it? And
what caused this?
What caused it?
How
Is
can we
it
work
something
on
to work on? Is
do you
it
want to still be in the relationship?
right?
You know?
There's a lot of variables, and so as you get older, if you do have a life with someone, and it gets tricky. I remember, being in a long-term relationship, being like, oh, well, for your 50th, maybe, you can go sleep with someone, right? Like you have these ideas because monogamy was something obviously invented when people only lived to be like 35 years old. So it's like,
we're pushing 42, and it's just like,
I mean,
what do we do now?
beat the system. So, when you think of it that way, like, and some people are more sexual than others, like I can be very content in a relationship and be fine. And there's other people that, maybe feel differently. It's hard to say without being in it, but it's a very interesting topic. I find.
Where are we on texting office hours?
They're here.
We're ready to go. So are you ready to solve someone else's problem?
Oh, God.
Let's go. How's it going?
Going pretty good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
My name is Sam, and I'm 24 years old.
How can we help Sam?
Basically, I have a male best friend that refuses to talk to me because I slept with his friend's roommate, and now I don't know how to further our relationship, if it's repairable, and if I should pursue the roommate.
Okay. Do you want to pursue the roommate?
I thought I did, but now I don't know because it's way more complex than I thought it was going to be.
Why is it complex?
Well, me and this friend are in a friend group. Him not speaking to me puts that whole, our group friendship on the line.
Gotcha.
And I kind of just feel pushed into a corner about if I should pursue something that possibly could fail or put more energy into repairing an 8-year friendship.
Does the person you slept with want to pursue you?
I used to think yes, but now I think no.
Why?
There just hasn't been a lot of banter after the fact. And this situation happened maybe a week ago. And we did have a conversation about how potentially we could move forward. And I just didn't get the energy that he wanted to pursue it at all. It kind of seemed like he just didn't want to be with the drama.
And have you accepted the reality that this friend of yours likes you more than a friend?
Yeah, I have.
Right? Okay. Because that's what's going on here. Let's forget about the guy you had sex with. Because whatever, he may want to pursue,
Okay.
you may pursue him, go on a couple dates, and you realize you hate him. But the point is that you did something that you had a right to do. You're a single woman. And this friend of yours has an issue with it and is making you feel like you did something wrong when you didn't do something wrong because they don't have the guts to just come forward and admit that they have feelings for you and do something about it. And he's pretending to be your friend. And when he's not actually your friend, he is a guy who wants you to be his girlfriend.
Now that you say that he didn't have the guts, he did, but this was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was just getting out of a relationship, and he put it in a text message, which I thought was pretty lame considering that we were close friends. And I told him that I just wanted to keep everything platonic, and that I just wasn't looking for anything more with him. And this was like years ago. And I feel like as a woman, like I'm all the responsibility has been given to me to like absolve the group friendship, to absolve the hurt feelings with my friend.
Who's in this group of friends?
So the main core is 4 of us. It's me, a girl, is like my true best friend, and then the 2 guys, and we all went to high school together.
Is your girlfriend dating any of these people? Okay.
No.
And where does she stand on this?
She's definitely on my side. She's kind of like what you said, that it wasn't fair for him to put those expectations on me without my knowledge. Like the expectations that I had that loyalty to him, even though there was never a relationship that went farther than friendship. So she's pretty upset about it too. And she's definitely kind of, she's definitely siding with me.
How are you with confrontation?
I think I've gotten better with it with age.
Okay.
Being forced to. My only thing is I've wanted to be confrontational. And I did reach out initially when my friend left in the middle of the night, because he could hear us, I guess. I sent him a message the next day, and I was just like, hey, if you want to talk about this, we can. And his response really pissed me off. It was just, I really honestly just don't want to talk about this anymore. And maybe when I get back from my trip, we can talk. And I just didn't like how it was kind of like, well, maybe if I feel like you deserve it, I'll talk to you.
You did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. And like, honestly, I don't love how the guy you slept with is putting it all on you either.
Like young men love to be like, well, I don't want it's
This is
drama.
yours, yeah.
I don't.
Because to me, I would have him rather just say, you know what, I'm just not interested in pursuing a relationship with you. But obviously I'm not going to get that from him because he wants to keep it open-ended in case he does want to sleep with me again, which isn't going to happen because I didn't like the response.
Good for you.
Good for you. Yeah. I think you should prioritize the girlfriend who you're friends with. And I think you two should consider evolving past this friend group. This friend group that its origin story is from high school. And it's great to have high school best friends that stand the test of time. I'm lucky enough to have 2 friends from high school I still keep in touch with. But like, whatever, like... Who cares? And you have this one friend, this girlfriend, and who knows what's going to happen with these guys. But I don't think you should beat around the bush with this guy. And I would say something like, it shouldn't be like, hey, if you want to talk or whatever, it should say, I really don't appreciate how you've been treating me. If there's something that you need to tell me or communicate with me, like I'm here to listen, but like I don't appreciate you making me feel like I did something wrong when I didn't do anything wrong. We are friends, and I am allowed to sleep with whoever I want and not made to be feel guilty about it. Like, that's what you should say to your friend, because as you say, he's your friend as far as you're concerned, and your friend made you feel bad for doing something that you did nothing wrong. And I think you should stand up for yourself and defend the fact that, like, you don't deserve someone to make you feel bad just because it was an inconvenience to like their emotions. Be direct with how you feel. Like, don't be passive aggressive. Don't test him. Like, you have every right to feel how you feel. And I think that's why you should just be direct. Just nip it in the bud.
I did try to like tell the guy, the roommate, I told him, I was like, hey, like, I really like getting to know you, and I want to like, maybe we can just hang out one-on-one. And I never heard back from him.
Oh no, we're done.
And this was like a couple days ago.
It wouldn't shock me if this guy has pulled away because he's friends with your friend who's being a baby about this, and he doesn't really know you, right? Like, you guys know each other a little bit, you hooked up, and he's just like, all right, I already had sex with this person. I don't need the drama. He's probably quite literally thinking that. And since he doesn't have a lot invested in you, he's just like, it's not worth it. And that's really shitty that your quote unquote friend is doing this. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, they are creating the drama for something that shouldn't be created. Like, they're you're kind of being slut shamed and treated like, treated like you, like you cheated on him. You're being treated like as if
Like
you
he has dibs on you.
Yeah, that's how he talks and that's how he reacts, you know? And so I think you should be angry at the friend and I think you should reach out to him and without playing games and being passive or testing him, I think you should, if I were you, I'd be very direct about how fucked up you think it is of how he's treating you and you would appreciate him stop talking about your sex life with other people. As far as your sex life goes, it's none of his business. You know, it doesn't matter if he heard you. You know, he has a roommate. Part of having a roommate is hearing them fuck sometimes. And he doesn't get to go around and tell everyone about it, you know, just because he has a little crush on you.
I feel shamed and I feel used too, which is such a grimy feeling. And just makes me upset with myself too because
why are you upset yourself?
No, don't do that.
Yeah, why are you upset yourself?
Because I've definitely learned these lessons before. You know what I mean? Not to like interfere with the friend group, even though I wasn't friends with him or he wasn't technically in our group initially. I feel just gross, especially because there was expressed interest initially, even after the fact that we had slept together. And then this whole thing blew up in my face. And now I just feel gross.
I hear you. I don't know.
No.
I don't feel like you, I can't tell you how you should feel, but you know, like, and if it makes you feel better, this other guy, I don't think his intention was to use you. I just think he is being a 23, 24-year-old guy who's like bros before hoes kind of energy. He also doesn't really know you that well. So he's just like, he probably literally wants to stay out of the drama that your friend is creating.
Can I say something woman to woman real quick? Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yes.
You made that choice because you wanted to do it. Feel good about it. Like that's something you wanted to do. So you did it. Other people are making you, well, no one can make you feel a certain way, right? They can project how they feel, but you don't have to take that on. That was your decision. In the moment, you wanted to do it. So stand by that. And that's fine. You don't have to pursue anything with that guy. He's really young. Sounds like a bit of a pussy, to be honest. And then you do you and feel good about your choice because you did something you wanted to do. A guy can do that and be like, yeah, I wanted to like fuck this girl and I didn't feel good about it, whatever. That was your choice. You wanted to do it. Don't be so hard on yourself.
That's what my friend that's a girl told me too. She's just like, it's fine. You know, you did what you wanted in the moment.
I just think you two need to graduate from these guys. Like they're just, We
kind of have. And it was kind of like, we kind of started to like regain momentum again with them. And now it's making me regret being around them again.
I mean, like this guy has a crush on you. He doesn't want to be your friend. He wants you to be his girlfriend. So like, just that's the lesson you need to learn is stop trying to be friends with someone who wants to be your boyfriend.
And someone who feels entitled to it. Because I think a big part of this is not just that he's interested. It's that he feels because he's interested, like your actions should all like fall into that, like whatever works for him. And it seems like you're someone who's like, values harmony and values everybody getting along and like kind of just like going with the flow and making sure everyone's having a good time. And you're having an experience where like you're having a terrible time and nobody's valuing harmony or trying to like make sure you're having a good one. And it's like such a shitty, isolating place to feel. And I'm so sorry you're there. And it's also maybe a sign that like you should surround yourself with people who do notice how you're feeling and who make it more of a priority to make sure you feel okay about how stuff went down.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're probably beating yourself up because it got messy and because all of this happened. And I'm like, this didn't happen because you hooked up with him. Like Rachel was saying, you hooked up with him because it was fun. You want to do it in the moment. This is happening because your friend is being a drama king.
But quote unquote friend.
Yeah.
A real friend wouldn't.
This has nothing to do with you having sex. Any other person as invested in you and demanding and thinks that you like owe him something would probably like, I don't think you'd be feeling the regrets that you're feeling right now or the anxiety that you have had like everyone woken up the next morning and been like, great guys, mimosas.
I would be totally fine with you just not talking to him anymore. But if you do reach out to him to, you know, stand up for yourself, it would be just for that. And I don't think you should stand up to him to like save the friendship because I just don't think this guy is your friend.
It's very loosely when we say friendship, you know what I mean?
It's a friend is the person, you know, friend. Like I want to have fun with you, be there for you, help you during good and bad times, talk to you like about like your dating life. You know, that's a friend. Give you advice when you're struggling and hey, this guy, this is not this guy. He doesn't want to hear about your dating life. You know, that's not a friend.
Might even call it a situationship.
Yeah. It's just someone you like hang out with and like, you know, you're comfortable with and the group's comfortable with each other and the group, you know, like fuck the group. You and your girlfriend need to graduate from these guys. I'm guessing a lot of guys will want to hang out with you too. You're going to be fine. And just stop hanging around people that make you feel bad about yourself, you know, for no reason. I'd be down for you standing up for yourself if it makes you feel like empowered and good and you're like, I wanted to get that out. And it felt good to tell this guy, hey, you didn't have the right to make me feel this way. I didn't deserve that. But I don't think you should tell him because like you're hoping to rekindle something and hoping to save the friendship. Because his feelings just aren't going to change. He can pretend not to like you. He can pretend to be okay with it, but the guy likes you. And instead of just being honest with himself and you, he's turning into this judgy kind of dickish friend who's like slut shaming you.
Do we want to leave him on red? Write a quick fuck you message? What are we?
I was going to be like, boy, bye.
Fuck you forever.
Honestly, I can see him wallowing it out on his own. I don't think he really needs any help from me. And I have all the peace in walking away from something that's not really good for me anymore. So
I mean, why don't you just block him?
No, don't do that.
Why not?
No, because that's too much of a statement. You need to just be.
Yeah, I don't
You're
care
neutral,
about the,
like-
I
That's what
don't
I
care
think
about the
too.
statement.
It's like gamey kind of. I don't think you should.
No,
block them.
I only think you should block people if it's to protect your mental health or stop you
Sure.
from pining over something. I don't really
Agreed.
give a shit about what he thinks about you blocking him.
I agree with
I
you on
don't
that.
care.
I don't think this is that though.
I think she's gonna have a harder time than I want to believe that. You know.
From the friendship.
Yeah.
I did delete the roommate's number because I was just like, I just didn't even want to have that option to communicate with him. And I was just really upset. And I was just, after I gave him like 24 hours to respond to me and he didn't, I just
He's
didn't
not
feel
great,
like that
but the
was gonna
real
serve
villain
me.
in this story is this other friend.
It would be hard for me to block him. I can't lie. It would be, I have no problem not speaking with him or not responding, but something about that message like coming back as green and then I don't know, like,
But I do think it would make her life more challenging
Right.
to have to, because I know, even though it's bullshit and it's
Why?
stupid and it should, because he's going to make a huge fucking deal out
Yeah.
of this.
We're
You
not
think-
gonna hang out with him anymore.
Right, but she might need to communicate. They are good friends, and look, for that to dissolve might take time, whatever. Like maybe it is a conversation, but I think just going straight to the block is not communicating, and then you're just like sending a message that she might not want to get across.
Yeah, I'm fine with communicating, but I'm sensing some reluctance that you don't want to do that. I think this is a fireable offense, I guess is what I'm saying. And so I'm just wondering, what is your
I think it
actual
is
plan
too.
to move on with the girlfriend and away from these two other guys who aren't really your friend? And this is a drama situation, and like we choose often to stay in the drama. And you are frustrated. You have a right to be frustrated. And I just want to know what you have total control over the situation. You really do. And so what are you going to do about it?
I guess my plan going forward was just to choose to not see them.
Okay.
Because I do have that choice. Like there's plenty of distance. You know, I'm still living in our hometown. They're living in the city. It's completely avoidable. Like every time I've seen them, it's because they've invited me or vice versa. You know, there's always been choice in that. So, and me and my girlfriend, we always go do our own thing most of the time on the weekends anyways. So it's avoidable.
Does she have your back to just also stop hanging out with him?
Yeah.
Because I just think it's a shitty thing what they did to you.
Mhm.
And that's not them being a friend to you.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes we have to fire friends.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm sorry you had to go through this, but like I think this can be it's just a reminder of, sometimes like people just don't treat you the way you expect, and like it's okay. You can just move on from friendships. This wasn't really and that's the thing. Just don't mourn the loss of this friendship all that much, because all this was a guy who pretended to be your friend because he had a crush on you. All right. Well, I'm sorry you're going through this, but it seems like we have a clear answer.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
And in the future, if you have a guy who, tells you he likes you, it's not going to change.
Mm-mm.
You know, don't be friends with guys who want to date you. It just only gets messy.
Yeah, I can see that, especially in adulthood. So
Yeah.
Even worse.
And the great way to test that is to tell them about guys you're dating and having sex with, and if they act anything other than normal and open to it and ask you more follow-up questions, then you know their true intentions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good luck. Let us know if there's any update with this story.
Hopefully not, but I definitely will send the email if there is.
I'm sure you'll hear from them.
Okay. I hope not, but yeah.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Great advice, Rachel.
Okay. Thank you.
You didn't think so?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, shit.
No, I could have. I mean, listen. I've got some experience.
Thanks for chatting with us.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
And you were the first podcast. The first time I came on your show was the first podcast I had ever done.
Really?
Whoa.
And here we are, full circle.
Here
now
we are,
you're
full
crushing the
circle.
podcast game. Can you let our audience know of your amazing podcast and
Yeah.
where people can listen to it?
It's called Broad Ideas. You can listen to wherever you listen to your podcasts, and new episode drops every Monday. My best friend Olivia and I, and we talk all the things. A little too transparent, if you ask me.
Has Olivia, did she take my advice yet?
What was it?
The nudes?
Oh, I'm gonna ask her. She should. She needs to.
That's it.
I'm with you on that.
All right.
That was good advice.
Where else? Follow Rachel Bilson at Rachel Bilson on Instagram.
Yeah, I just have. That's all I have. Instagram.
All right.
That's right. The gram. Thanks,
Great to
Nick.
see you.
Thank you, girls. This
Nice
was fun.
to meet you.
Thanks for listening,
You
guys. Don't
too.
forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com. Don't forget another episode of Better Date Than Never drops tonight live at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're talking sex injuries.
Woo.
So if you have a sex injury and you want to come in and pop off in the comments, it's a lot of fun. It's super enjoyable. I smoke weed. You should too. Well, I don't know. I don't know. You know what?
You should do whatever you do
whatever,
to unwind.
whatever you want to do. I don't care. Also, don't forget Viall Files Plus is available now. Go to viallfiles.com for a 7-day free trial. All the episodes of Better Date Than Never are available. New updates are available. What else? We got Pop Culture Roundup. We got
A vault of interviews with the women from your season.
we got
rom-com
recaps. It's a ton of fun. More and more coming. Vanderpump recaps coming soon to Viall Files Plus, starting from season 1. Next week we have Ariel. We'll find out the proper pronunciation of her name. That and so much more.
and the fantastic comedian Ashley Gavin.
We'll be breaking down
the finale.
But the recap will be on Thursday. Ariel will be on. I'm so sorry. We'll find out. Until then,
Well, she will be on.
She'll be on.
sometime on
lost
Tuesday
that
morning.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tuesday
And
morning.
the name, we will find out.
We'll find out.
Great.
Bye.